welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, welcome. I'm Deidra. If you're returning, it is great to see you. I just thought I would do a chatty catch up. I'm just doing, it's Saturday evening, it's like 5 o'clock. I'm just doing a question set on a file I audited because I am trying to play catch up. What is it, my love? Oh, my Sherbet. Sherbet. You just used me to get up on the desk, didn't you? It's like, yes, ma'am. I'm trying to catch up because I took Monday off because it's my son's first day of kindergarten. No, you cannot eat my plants. That's why that plant looks like that, because your siblings and you attacked it. No, you will not eat my plants. Go up there. My poor plants, man. No, you're so handsome. I'm trying to film a video. Yeah, it's been a wild couple of weeks. I'm wrapping up some cat sitting. I have my last cat sit with one of my regulars on the 19th. I've had her since the 1st. I'm actually, once I finish this, I'm going to go take care of her. And then, you don't want to come over here? She's being camera shy. And then I have to go do another one of my regulars real quick and get them set. Then I'll be home and have dinner. But I've got homework because I have final papers due this weekend and more work to do. So it's going to be a busy weekend doing that. Unfortunately, so these beautiful babies came from Miss Bitsy. Look, there you are, right there. How handsome you are. No, do not try and eat my plants. 2 weeks ago today, it was in the morning. I was a little late to feed them outside. Bitsy, Blue, and Violet. So Bitsy is Blue and Violet's daughter. Bitsy is the kitten's mama. And Hunter was running late that morning, and so I was out there later than I usually am to feed them. And apparently she'd been hovering around, and at 7:09 a.m. was the last time I saw her fine. And she climbed the oak trees out front. We have huge oak, like I have a 2-story house. The oak trees are taller than my house. And she's always climbed trees. She's always been a very avid tree climber. But I had noticed that morning that the birds were a little crazier than normal. I think the swallows were here, and I think that they were like dive bombing and stuff. I saw Blue trying to catch them, and one of the other cats was trying to catch him. I think it was Sherbert's dad. And yeah, and so it was like 7:40 something in the morning. I fed Blue and Violet. Couldn't find Bitsy. I kept calling her. She didn't come. And then Hunter and I walked across the street to take care of the neighbor's dogs. And we walked back over, and normally I back my car in, but the night before I had pulled in straight. So I put Hunter in his booster seat, buckled him in, and walked around my car. I was at the driver's door. I was talking to my mother-in-law about Hunter, and I spotted her at the front door, and I could tell something was wrong. And so I was kind of like looking, and I was like, Donna, I have to go, like something's wrong with the cat. And so I got off the phone with her because all I could see was like she was leaning kind of unnaturally up against my front door. And this eye was like, it looked solid black. Like I was looking in like a black hole. And I was like, oh God. And so like I ran up to the front door, and she jumped off my porch and was trying to get away from me. But her back left leg was dragging. And her hips were like swaying. She couldn't walk. And I panicked. I was full of blood. And so I ran inside. I grabbed a carrier. I woke my husband up. I was like, something's wrong with Bitsy. I have to go. I have to take her to the emergency vet. You need to take Hunter. You guys have to go get groceries. Like, I have to go. And so I loaded her up. She tried to get away from me. Only because I don't think she could really see me. I think she was still very much like in the middle of this trauma. And so I loaded her in the thing, drove to 3 different vets trying to find a vet that was open. Finally just took her to the ER, which I should have just taken her to in the first place. But the other site said that they were open, like they were urgent care vet and like another one. And so I got her to the ER vet. I like ran in and I said, I think she got hit by a car, because that's at the time what I thought. I now think she fell out of the oak tree, based off of the trauma. And there were no cars. I don't have a very busy street, so there hadn't been any cars. Like, I checked my cameras, there were no cars. Like, there was one car and it was my neighbor, and I saw her drive by, so I was out there. So I was just like, okay, what is going on? So they took her back, and of course they're like, well, you have to make a deposit of this much and this much and this much before we even look at her. And I'm like, she's in pain. Like, y'all need to give her some pain meds. So I had to give them a $500 deposit or $300 deposit. I don't even know. So I gave her the deposit, so that they could, give her pain meds, and they were supposed to do, a, that's not the right one. A scan of her organs to see if her organs were okay, to see if there was any trauma there. But then they didn't do that. And I was like, okay, so what are we doing now? And so then they were like, oh, well, we're going to do an x-ray, but you need to give us another $500, $600. So now I'm up to almost $1,000. And so they took 2 x-rays and they gave her a pain injection and they sedated her a little bit, because apparently she bit one of them. And I told them, she's a feral cat. I didn't know at the time if she was up to date on her shots. She was. The Humane Society had made sure her shots were fully done when she was spayed. So I didn't know. I'm glad that I found out. But at that point, she'd already bit them. So they reported me to the health department, and they were not, if I put her down, they were not going to cremate her until they did the rabies test and got the results back. And so I was just like, whatever, okay, fine. So that all happened. And so they did the 2 x-rays and they called me and they said, well, it looks like her pelvis is fractured in multiple places. And I said, okay, what does that mean? And they said, well, we can't really, and they didn't even look at her eye. They didn't even look at her eye at this point. And they said that I could take her home for 2 days and see if I could manage her pain at home, but I have to keep her confined and separate from all animals. But what, are you gonna like put any like braces on her? Are you gonna put a cast on? Are we gonna do anything for the pelvis? If her pelvis heals, is her leg going to be okay too? Is she gonna be able to like live a full life? Like, what are we looking at here? And what about her eyeball? Are we having to take her eyeball out? Do we think her eyeball will heal itself? Like, what are we looking at here? They wouldn't tell me. They didn't know. And they were like, well, you can just take her home. And I'm like, that's it? Just take her home. What? And so, like, I wasn't understanding. And so, like, I told my husband, I said, well, they want me to come get her and blah, 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 whatever. And I ended up calling my dad. And I had talked to my mother-in-law too. And she was like, you need to put her down because she's going to suffer. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right. And like, even though like my heart didn't want to, like I had a feeling. So I called my dad and I said, Dad, here's the situation. I know that you'll be honest with me. Like, what do you think? And he's like, you need to put her down. He's like, she's not going to have any quality of life. She's an outside cat and she's just going to struggle. She's going to suffer. And I was like, you know what, you're right. So I called the vet back and I said, well, I'm on my way into your office or like your hospital, but I'm going to put her down. And they said, okay. And so I get there and they take me in the back and they're like, so you're going to put her down? And I said, yeah. Like, she has no quality of life left. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't force this poor feral cat to, one, be confined for 3 months, two, then not let her ever go outside again. I've already got 4 cats inside. Like, she loves to be outside. And so they were like, and the vet tech tells me, I actually agree with your decision, because once you take her home, it's actually a lot more work than it sounds like. Like, what do you mean? Like, no, they weren't communicating with me at all. And so I was super frustrated. I was like, fine, okay. So I am waiting for them to come in, and they bring her to me. She has a cone. She's on the soft, fluffy bed covered in a blanket, a fuzzy fleece blanket. And they said, we're not going to take the cone off because she'll probably bite you because she's in pain. And I was like, okay. The second they put her in her little bed on the counter, I just wrapped my arms around the bed, and she laid her head, right in here and started purring. And I started bawling. And I told her I was so sorry, that she didn't deserve what happened, and that I was so thankful that she chose me to be her person and trust me and bring her babies to me. I told her to go play with my babies, and I would come home and play with hers. And I just cried and cried. And her fur's soaked, and I take the blanket and I'm wiping off her fur, and I'm crying more in her fur. And she oh, God bless her. She just had them hurt the whole time. I just wanted to be held, and I just held her. And she never once tried to bite me. Not once. And I kissed her and kissed her and kissed her. And I kissed her face and her head, and even though she had that stupid cone on. And then the doctor came in, and she made a comment, something about, like, it was a fair decision that I made, or something like to that effect. And I was like, well, I'm not going to let the cat suffer because I'm greedy, I mean, I made the same choice with my child. Why would I not make that choice for a cat too? Like, no one deserves to suffer. And so, I held her while they did the injection in her IV thing. And I just kept telling her how much I loved her. But I was there with her until the very end. And when I was leaving the room, I kissed the top of her head, and I told her how much I loved her. And I came home. And, in recovery from eating disorders, you sometimes find yourself in this place where you just want to eat to soothe. And so I made the decision that day that, you know what, this was a really hard damn day. And I told my husband, we're going to Olive Garden. And I got the tour of Italy, and I ate every damn bite of it. I've never eaten an entire tour of Italy before. And then I had a little bit of dessert. But I was okay with it. I knew going in what I was doing. And so it didn't, affect my recovery. I told my dietitian, I told my therapist, everybody knew. They all understood. But yeah. So she's gone. I'm a mess, I'm sorry. I miss her so much, but I'm so grateful that I at least have 2 of her babies. So I told my husband, I said, well, now, for sure S'more ain't going anywhere. I mean, I'd already told him that, but he didn't believe me. But S'more is definitely not going anywhere. He's her twin, and it's her and him and Sherbert are the last, pieces of her that I have. So they are both staying. I mean, Sherbert we already knew, but S'more definitely is staying too. So they are both formally adopted into our family from the Humane Society. But yeah, so that's kind of what's been going on. Yeah, But I'm okay. Don't worry, I'm okay. And all of this happened the day before Franklin's second heavenly birthday. So it was a really hard weekend. It was a really hard weekend. But I came out the other side and I'm okay. I'm sad. I miss her. I miss him. But that's okay. So I just wanted to do a quick check-in. I'm sorry. I was not planning on bowling this whole time. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's what's been going on over here. I'm trying to be more frequent in my uploads. I know I've kind of slipped and I'm sorry. I do try my best, but sometimes things fall to the side and I have to put myself first and do my best to take care of myself. And, you know, when I'm struggling, a lot of things have to fall to the wayside. So I apologize for that. But I have been trying to upload more frequently. And I will continue to try and do so. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that this was like a downer video. I really didn't plan it to be this. But thank you so much for watching. I love you. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. I promise not all of my videos I cry in, but this one was just a hard one today. So thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.